Now, time to explore Aquacorte Town, now that we've gotten the whole get-together thing out of the way. I'm probably just gonna end up talking to random people all over the place, because you can occasionally get items from people that you talk to. Do you love Pokemon? Why, of course I do. What a silly question. Here, this potion is for you. Feel free to use it. He's got some kind of uniform on, so he must work at the Pokemart. Potions can heal Pokemon wherever and whenever. So, looks like this building here has a green sign that looks like a bottle in front of it. If you enter, we sell only the best potions. In fact, you only sell potions. Yeah, this is the potions market. And on the other side of town is the Pokeball market. If you want to be more fashionable, you might want to go to Santa Lune City. The boutique in Santa Lune City has many items that are popular with young men. Yeah, you can purchase clothes in this game, which is really cool. Yeah. This building here has a Pokeball sign in front of it. And if you head in, you'll find they're selling Pokeballs. Literally, they only sell Pokeballs. Not, like, capturing items in general, like Great Balls, Ultra Balls. No, they literally only sell Pokeballs. And what do you want? Hey, Pokemon Trainer, if you set foot in the tall grass, a wild Pokemon will pop out. But you'll be fine, because your Pokemon partner will battle for you. Yeah, you can't go this far, without a Pokemon, because, wild Pokemon will attack you, and you'll be utterly defenseless. So this is Avance Trail, and already we have a wild Pokemon battle on our hands. And it's a familiar face. Come on, anyone familiar with Pokemon will recognize Pidgey. Why not? We can use the extra experience, so why not just battle it? No, that was a critical hit, did a surprising amount of damage. And there goes Pidgey. Got a bit of experience from that. And we're good to go. And look who it is already. Oh, hi, Volan. Come learn how to catch Pokemon with me. Serena's mom and dad are amazing trainers. That's why she knows so much about catching Pokemon and battling. Well, mom and dad may be good, but that had nothing to do with me. Now watch carefully, you two. In every game, there's someone who tells you how to catch a Pokemon. A wild Bunnelby appeared. And there's Fletchling. These are two new Pokemon, of course, introduced in this generation. So if you look on the bottom screen, it basically tells you what to do. You want to attack the Pokemon first, and get its HP down to a rather low level. Then you go into your bag, go into the Pokeball's pocket, and use a Pokeball. It's that simple. Bunnelby was caught. Why anyone would want to catch one of those ugly things is beyond me. Wow, the Pokemon went inside the Pokeball? Yeah, I know what you're all thinking. Pokemon in the games never actually went inside the Pokeball, they just kind of evaporated into white light, I guess. Yeah, they were never literally sucked inside the Pokeball. So yeah, that's kind of a funny little reference there. Shauna, what do you think your Fennekin is inside of right now? Good point. Here, I'll share some Pokeballs with the two of you. Do you think I can catch Pokemon with them too? Sure, you can catch the Pokemon around here just by throwing a Pokeball near them. If I find a cute Pokeball, I'll throw lots of Pokeballs at it, and then we'll become friends. Yeah, and in this game, if you catch a Pokemon, it will give you experience as well. Now, I'm personally going to catch myself something to use at the beginning of the journey, and why not make it a familiar face? Why not make it a Pidgey? Why not catch a Pidgey? It's a male at level 3, that shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think that should be good enough to toss a Pokeball at it. You get 10 Pokeballs instead of 5 like in previous generations. Come on, Pidgey. Resistance is futile. And yeah, the first successful capture of the game. We got ourselves a Pidgey. And as promised, we get more experience for catching it. Pidgey's data was added to the Pokedex, so why not read it out loud for you guys? It is docile and prefers to avoid conflict. If disturbed, however, it can ferociously strike back. As you can see, it's called a tiny bird Pokemon, and it is a normal and flying type. And of course, we'll be giving you a nickname. We'll call you Finch. So we've got Finn, and we've got Finch. Usually when I catch my first Pokemon, I like to train it up to the same level as my starter. So this next part will probably be really boring for you viewers. I'm basically just going to be battling wild Pokemon and running back home whenever I need to heal. Pidgey's only move is Tackle at this point in the game. So, yeah, go figure. Just use Tackle. Well. Okay. I didn't expect that to happen. And we run. Okay. Poor Finch. The reason I named him Finch is because that's kind of what Pidgey's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a finch, or some kind of small songbird. And why they decided to name it after a pigeon, I have no idea, because it doesn't look like a pigeon at all. If you want a pigeon Pokemon, look at Pidove from Pokemon Black and White. So yeah, I personally think Pidgey would have been a better name. It sounds better than Pidgey, in my opinion. It just doesn't sound better, it makes more sense. Pidgey, honestly. An alternative would be Triggy, because it kind of looks like a partridge, too. Okay. And now the level grinding begins. Just battling random wild Pokemon. You. Finch and I have a bone to pick with you. Agility at this stage in the game, I don't know what the producers were thinking. Usually agility is a higher level move. But no, Bunnelby apparently can learn agility at level 2. Which is insane. So yeah, we're slowly but surely making our way up toward an adequate level. So yeah, I've played through this game quite a bit. I've been through it twice, each with different starters, different Pokemon in general. And I have to say that I really like the look of this game. I mean, it's not just the graphics, the storyline is good. I really like the designs of several of the new Pokemon that have been introduced. Some of the new mechanics are just great. I have a lot of praise for this game, but I still think Pokemon Black and White is better in my opinion. I just like Pokemon Black and White a little more. Yeah. There aren't a lot of new Pokemon introduced in this generation. There are only 69 new Pokemon that have been introduced. However, there is a whole ton of old Pokemon that are making their reappearance in this game. So that gives me, in my opinion, that just gives me a lot of opportunity to use some of my old favorites. Like, I remember using, in my last run through the game, I used Drapion, which, in my opinion, was just really fun to use. In the 4th generation, okay, Pidgey's low on health, so I'll switch out for Finn. So yeah, there is literally tons of choices for you to make in this game. There's a lot. 1st generation Pokemon, 2nd generation Pokemon, 3rd generation, 4th generation, 5th generation, and of course 6th generation, you name it. Yeah, there is a huge selection in this game, and I will be using multiple Pokemon in this playthrough. I won't be keeping Finch, because Pidgey is a mediocre Pokemon even when it evolves. I will be replacing it with a more competent flying type later on in the game. So yeah, I know this is rather kind of tedious for you viewers to watch, but I'm trying to entertain you with my talking. Don't worry, level grinding, it isn't necessary in the later parts of the game. When you get the lucky egg and the experience share, it's not necessary at all. However, in the early stages of the game, you will probably need to do a bit of level grinding. So, yeah. I think this will be the only instance I actually show, though. The next few instances of level grinding I need to do, yeah, I'm just gonna do that off screen. I'm gonna do that on my own time. I usually just get my Pokemon to level 6 or level 7. That's usually adequate. Critical hits for the win. So yeah, we're slowly but surely getting up to Finn's level, aren't we, Finch? Oh, and a Zigzagoon. I remember those from Pokemon Emerald. Oh, Pokemon Emerald. I think it's really the only game that comes close to Black and White. This game comes close as well. I really enjoy this game, but Pokemon Black and White, Pokemon X and Y, and Pokemon Emerald, they're all pretty much on the same level in my opinion. They're all great games. I like Emerald more or less just for the nostalgia, because that was really the game that got me into Pokemon. Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, is another great game. I loved Gale of Darkness. Sadly, I can't play it anymore because I lost my memory card for my GameCube. That stinks. A lot of my favorite games are on that system as well. I like playing, I think it was mostly Pokemon XD and Pikmin 2 that I like playing. And that really stinks because I want to do a playthrough of Pikmin 2. I might have to get a new memory card. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. So, as you saw earlier, Pidgey learned Sand Attack, which could be useful, I guess. But in the story, you're not really focusing on lowering stats or anything like that. No, you're just focusing on attacking and overpowering your opponents. In the competitive play, then that stuff could be pretty crippling to your opponent, and crippling your opponent is really everything in competitive play. But No, in the story, you focus on attacking most of the time, basically. Now, this guy is a new bug type introduced in Pokemon X and Y. It's the only new bug type. And it's called Scatterbug, which is probably one of the least imaginative names in the entire series. I really like the animation for String Shot in this game, and it harshly lowers your speed this time. So, that's a bit of a change they made in this generation. Level 6, one more level Finch, and then we'll be good to go through the rest of the story. So as you can see, Route 2, there's an unusual variety to be encountered here. Usually there's only like one or two Pokemon to be found on the first few routes of the game. But no, this time there's a huge variety, and that's because there are so many Pokemon introduced in this game. I think over half of the Pokemon total, there's 718, and I think over half of them are in this game. It's crazy. However, several of my favorite Pokemon are not in this game, sadly. I really wanted to use Frillish, because Frillish is my second favorite Pokemon of all time. But no, I was kind of disappointed that no, Frillish isn't in this game. Frillish isn't just one of my favorite Pokemon, it's dead useful once it evolves. And speaking of which... okay, never mind. Another familiar face, so right off the bat, this battle looks like something out of Fire Red and Leaf Green. Pidgey versus Caterpie. Yep, a lot of old returning Pokemon in this game, and I know precisely the reason why they did that. To appeal to those idiots out there that think that Generation 1 is the best and that everything else is a complete rip-off. I'll be making that complaint later. A few times in this playthrough, that is. I really don't like how they're trying to appeal to those idiots. But I am happy that they decided to introduce a lot of new Pokemon, because that just means more variety, and it means I get to use some of my old favorites again. Like, for instance, I was considering using Sharpedo in this game, because Sharpedo is just great. And I used them before, actually only once before, on Pokemon XD. But no, I'm not going to be using Sharpedo, I'm just going for Froakie. Because once it evolves, it has better, type coverage. It can learn a whole bunch of moves, Ice Beam, Surf, Extrasensory, whole bunch of really cool moves. And I can't believe Finch has made it through so many battles and only really requiring a heal up once or twice. That's pretty intense, actually. Yeah, level 7. Good job, Finch. You've made me proud. So, with that said and done, we're going to go back to heal and then finally continue on our journey.